Hi guys, welcome to week 3 of the Premier League prediction videos where I give you my predictions of the scores that will be happening this weekend and what has been happening for the last couple of weeks as well, and why I picked those predictions of what will be happening for certain games. And we start off with congratulating Manchester United on taking a victory at the moment, getting forward into the Champions League. And now the attention's turned to Newcastle, which is the early kick-off tomorrow. And I think that Manchester United are like finding their stride at the moment. I mean, they didn't play that good against Tottenham Hotspur, which is what we said a couple of weeks ago. I didn't think they were overly brilliant against Aston Villa. I just think that Aston Villa made them look good more than Manchester United were good, if you know what I mean. And I just thought that Manchester United probably had the enough quality to make themselves look good as well, and just see them out for the win, which is what they did in the end. I didn't watch the qualifying game, to be honest, but apparently they didn't play that good either. Apparently, was it Club Brugge they played? Couldn't defend very well. And the most ridiculous question has come out this week is Lionel Messi? Sorry, is Memphis Depay better than Lionel Messi? Now, come on. I mean, he scores one, alright, fair enough, it was a cracking goal, but he scores one good goal against Club Brugge, and now the questions are asked is he better than Lionel Messi? I mean, come on. Maybe in a couple of years when he's done it in the Premier League and done it against the big boys, then maybe the question will be asked that could he be one of the best players in the world, but at this moment in time that is the most stupidest and ridiculous question to ask at the moment. It shouldn't even be up for debate. So I couldn't help but ask that question. In fact, I'll ask you your people's opinions. Some people who will be watching this on like Facebook and Twitter. Do you think that Memphis Depay, maybe a Manchester United fan, do you think that he's better than Lionel Messi, or has the quality of being the best in the world in years to come? Give me your thoughts on what you think of that. But I think it's too early and quite ridiculous to be asking questions like that at this early stage, especially after one goal as well. I mean, if that was the case, then you'd say that every week, even a Sunderland player or maybe even a Norwich player, lower league kind of teams would be the best in the world as well. So I think sometimes, the Sun, the dream teams, and might get a bit too carried away over a good goal. But anyway, getting back to the most important thing, which is the Premier League and Manchester United, who face Newcastle tomorrow. As I was saying, they haven't looked that best. They haven't looked their best, Manchester United, at the moment. As I said, like with the Villa game, I think Villa made them look good more than they were, and obviously we know about the Tottenham game in the Champions League. But I think that Newcastle haven't looked that brilliant either. And I mean, being at Manchester United and Old Trafford, I can't get the words out today. Being at Old Trafford, again, I think that this could be an easy win. I don't think Manchester United will play particularly too well, but I think that they'll see it through. So I've gone Manchester United 2, Newcastle 0. Then we move to the 3 o'clock kickoffs, which is West Ham versus Bournemouth. Now that could be quite a good game. I think Bournemouth have been quite unlucky the last couple of weeks. I mean, they played quite well against Aston Villa for the majority of the game. What I heard again, I can only go on clips on match today, but apparently they played quite well against Aston Villa the opening day of the season, and then going to Anfield, which I thought was going to be a really, really tough test for them. But you know what, they gave it a really good go, and I thought in the end they should have even maybe got 3 points, because that goal was disallowed. And Liverpool's goal shouldn't have stood either. It was miles offside. Well, Christian Benteke wasn't offside, but this new rule is if you're interfering with play or something like that, then if that was the case, then Coutinho was interfering with play. He's misjudged the goalkeeper, and that goal shouldn't have stood. But they did. They got unlucky, Bournemouth, and they've got off to a tough test in the Premier League at the moment, which is what they say to teams that do come up into the Premier League. But it doesn't get any better for Bournemouth this week, according to me, because I've gone West Ham 2, Bournemouth 1. Then we've got Norwich versus Stoke. Now again, I don't think that's going to be too much of an open game. Two teams that'll probably be around mid-table-ish, probably about 13th, 14th this season. But so it would have been either way for what I've gone. So because it's at home for Norwich, I've gone 1-0 to go for Norwich. Leicester versus Spurs. Now I've gone all out for this game. for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's because Spurs let a lot of goals in, and so did Leicester, and Leicester's been on fire at the moment. So I've gone all out. I'm probably gone crazy on this one, but I've gone Leicester 3, Spurs 2. If that is the case, that'll be a really, really entertaining game, especially for the neutrals as well. So hopefully we look forward to that if that's the case. Sorry, then we go to Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa. Now, Crystal Palace, again, were very unlucky not to get at least a point, if not 3, against Arsenal last week. They could have gone 2-1 up. I think it was just after the second half they hit the post, and they did have the majority of the game last week. That's coming from an Arsenal fan. I thought that we were very poor again, and I thought that Palace were very unlucky not to get a point, if not 3. Again, Aston Villa, I haven't seen too much of them. They didn't look brilliant last week, and apparently they wasn't too good against Bournemouth, but they did win that game. So I think this is a bit of a mix and match this weekend, but I'm going to go for Crystal Palace 1, Villa 1. I think both teams will probably get a draw in that game. Both have been quite unlucky in the last couple of weeks. I thought that Villa were unlucky last week because Manchester United didn't exactly turn up, but they weren't brilliant either. But they did have a couple of chances. They just didn't get the scoring boots on. And obviously, as I said, the Crystal Palace. So I think 1-1 for them too this week. And then Sunderland versus Swansea. Now, Sunderland have been absolutely rubbish at the moment. They have not improved from last season whatsoever. The defence is all over the place. And as you heard Lee Cattermole last week on Match Today, he said that things aren't going together at the moment. I mean, he says that we're in this for a team and it's like a family at the club. It doesn't feel like that at the moment. And that was very interesting words, actually. But it doesn't get any better for them this weekend, in my personal opinion, because Swansea are quite an attacking team, and I think the Swansea will do well this year. Moving off the subject for a minute, I think Swansea could be looking at around Europe this year if they could keep a few more clean sheets and have a couple of less injuries than what they usually do, a bit like Arsenal really. Then I think they could be in a shout for Europe this year, if not next year. So I've gone Sunderland 0, Swansea 2. I can't see Swansea, even though it's at the Stadium of Light, I can't see Swansea having a problem at Sunderland. Not when they've gone to Stamford Bridge and got a draw there, and to be fair, outplayed Chelsea for most of the game. Then we move on to Sunday's fixtures, which is West Brom versus Chelsea. Now again, Chelsea hasn't really got their season going at the moment. They haven't won any pre-season. I don't think that doctor's incident would have helped them on the first game of the season, and they were absolutely dreadful against Manchester City last week. I'm sorry, Jose. I don't think it was a fake result whatsoever. I think that your team was fake last week. Actually, should have been at least 4 or 5 in like 20 minutes of the game. But I think they'll bounce back. They've got to get some points somewhere. They've got to kickstart somewhere. And I think that they should be able to beat West Bromwich Albion. So I've gone West Brom 0, Chelsea 2. Then we move on to Watford and Southampton. Again, 2 attacking teams. Watford's just come through the Premier League, let a few goals in, but scored a few as well. Same as Southampton. So I've gone, again, quite of a tight game for this one. I've gone Watford 1, Southampton 1. And then we've got a very tasty fixture actually, which I do think is quite tasty, which is Everton versus Manchester City. Again, same with Watford. Everton's let quite a few goals in, but they've scored and when they have scored, it's been quite a few crackers, especially Ross Barkley. But again, Manchester City is absolutely on fire at the moment. They were on fire last week, and they were on fire against West Bromwich Albion. Don't think they'll run Everton ragged, being at Goodison Park, but I do think that they'll win. So I've gone Everton 1, Man City 2. And then the Monday night football, which is Arsenal versus Liverpool. Now again, Arsenal haven't looked brilliant at the moment. They still look quite sloppy. They haven't quite found their form yet. Very lucky to get 3 points last week, in my personal opinion. Liverpool again haven't looked that great, but they've picked up 6 points out of the 2, so you can't complain about that. But I think both teams will raise their game up on Monday, and they'll be in a top fixture. And I'm going to go for Arsenal 1 versus Liverpool. Liverpool 1. So that has been my predictions for this weekend, guys. Do give your comments of what you think and your predictions of what you think as well, especially the Memphis Depay comments. Hope everyone gets all the results they want this weekend, unless if you're a Liverpool fan, then not so lucky. But thanks for watching this, guys. If you do like the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next week for next week's predictions. Thank you for watching, guys.